Hello everybody, Mike, aka the Magico13, here with episode 36 of the Out of This World series. As you can see, we have the Eve expedition here, leaving Jewel. If you check the map and we focus on here, we are way out past Pole now, and we are on our way to a Julian escape in 1 day, 18 hours, and 12 minutes. So we pretty much aren't doing anything else other than the Eve mission, I think, pretty much for the entire series. It's pretty much just this. So I'm not going to really utilize the time that is left, because this mission, we won't get to Eve for another 30 days, 31 days. So I'm not actually going to use that time for pretty much anything. I'm just going to follow this mission, do this whole mission in probably just one sitting. It'll be split amongst a couple different episodes, probably, and then I'm going to start messing with 0.24, most likely. I have the mod list fairly finalized for that, and I'm eager to start playing around with it. This mission will probably be the last. If people really want me to keep doing stuff in this world, I can either try to update it to 0.24 or I can keep it in 0.23.5, and I could maybe go to the Tylo system at least. Let's actually focus on this really quick. So I've not really ever showed you this. This is Tylo. Dres and Duna both orbit it. I'd love to go there sometime. It'd be a lot of fun, but I don't know if I'm going to, like I said. But we will see what comes out of that. For now, I've got to time warp up. We have a node in 7.5 days or so, and we have an escape in 1 day, 18 hours, and now 10 minutes. So instead of keeping you any longer, why don't we open up the alarm clock and time warp up. Alright, so we should be nearing that change. Hopefully it doesn't break. There's a chance it already did. Wait, there we go. It looks like we have a successful escape from Jewel. It's now just a matter of... I'm just trying to make sure everything's working out right. Just a matter of going to this maneuver, doing this really short 2.5 or 2.4 meter per second burn to finalize our orbit around Eve. Well, not necessarily finalize it, but finalize our encounter. So let's just time warp up to that now, and hopefully not get caught back in Eve's sphere, or not Eve's, Jewel's sphere of influence. See how Tom, Fred, and Maxim are enjoying this. Actually, you know, we've got science we can do. We have never actually been here. And there's 132 science right there. Though we need to actually connect to something. So if we take this and we cycle through the ground stations, yeah, one of them should connect. And that is why I did the ground stations, by the way. When we get all the way out to Eve, hopefully the conic angle is wide enough that all of Kerbin, or at least most of Kerbin, is covered, and we should have communication as long as we can see Kerbin. That is the hope. I don't know if it'll actually be that way, but we can certainly hope that it will. Let's see, can we do gravity data? That's another 88 science. The seismic data will not work. The thermometer, we're probably too high. We have never done a crew report. And we've never done an EVA report either, so let's take Maxim Kerman out. He's doing some weird shuffling thing. EVA report, keep that. Store it. Don't think there's anything else he can do. And already this mission has gotten us quite a bit of science. which honestly might not be useful unless we go all the way out to Tylo. But oh well, it's the thought that counts. Okay, we are nearing our maneuver node. We have just a minute and a half until then. You can still see Joule in the background there. There's the sun. Something else over there. What is that? That is most likely Eve, our target. We have just a small maneuver to... I want to focus on Eve. To do this, essentially. To bring us down to here from here. And this should be a fairly short burn, so I'm just going to time warp up a little bit, try to get it fairly close, but at this distance it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to get this down to within about 10 seconds, and then just burn. I don't know what the best periapsis for this will be. I'd like it inside the atmosphere, but not too low. Let's try 70. If we... I don't think I can... Oh, I can. I can view Eve's stuff. The atmosphere is present. The height is 90 kilometers. So let's try leaving it at about 70 kilometers and see how that goes. We have this huge inflatable heat shield in the front that is going to be hopefully protecting us on reentry. Hopefully we go front first, but I have not actually yet tested this. But the next thing isn't for another 24 days almost, and that is actually arriving at Eve. So I'm just going to fast forward to that point, and hopefully everything goes as planned. Yeah, and you can see now that the cone angle, even as far out as we are now, is enough that we can see all of Kerbin. So we should always have contact with at least one ground station. And in fact, right now we have contact with 2 of the ground stations, and with the little satellite network around it, we should always have contact with mission control as long as we can see Kerbin. I'm just hoping that the range is going to be enough that this will work all the way out at Eve. It should. I think it should. So, back to time warping. So Joule's off there. This is likely Eve. Alright, we are actually about to enter... Oh wow, that's Eve. I didn't even see it. New simulation body unlocked, Eve. So we are actually in high orbit around Eve now. I'm going to take some more data. We are still in communication with Kerbin. I love that so much. Oh, I need to do an EVA report, so Maxim, go out there. I recorded my observations of the situation. I despise the EVA reports sometimes in this game, because they are just really stupid. Okay, so now it is just a matter of hoping that we get captured by Eve. I'm going to add a maneuver at the periapsis to just point prograde. That way we know what direction we need to be facing as we turn very, very, very slowly. And I'm not going to worry too much about trying to get the low Eve data, because we should be able to get it on a second pass or something. I haven't finalized what altitude I want to put the station at, and without an omnidirectional antenna, it's going to be kind of frustrating, because all the antennas on the tadpoles are going to have to point at Kerbin, and this antenna will probably also point at Kerbin, and those were supposed to communicate just with the omnidirectionals. So, we might have a bit of a problem here. Also, these guys only have the 500 kilometer antenna. Oh well, we will figure something out. Now, I'm going... What does the display do? Interesting. Apparently it's got two temperature things. We are going to inflate this heat shield. I don't know if we can deflate it, but we are just going to prepare that now. It's as big as it gets. Okay. Thought it would get a little bigger, but as you can see, that should protect most of the ship after we retract everything. And we don't have any solar panels to worry about, so that should be okay. And since this is controlled by Kerbals, we should be okay. And yeah, this is not able to be retracted again, so we may end up decoupling it. We may keep it on for if I do a Kerbin recovery of this whole vessel, but I won't know until we get there. So let's just verify. There's a little bit more science to get from there, and I'm going to start time warping. Alright, we are getting fairly close. I think we're probably still high over Eve, yeah. But I'm starting to get a little worried. But there she is, the purple majesty herself. And I'm just going to keep time warping, I guess, until it makes us stop, which is about now. We are still 140. We are a space near Eve, though. I'm going to deactivate this and retract these. We should be able to do this for a little while without problems, and the fission reactor should be, yeah, it's at 25% power, so we are okay there. I know I have buttons for doing things, and I'm going to try them. Yeah, we can do all the scans. And we are about to start entering the atmosphere, and I stupidly quick-saved kind of early. I just recently quick-saved, so I don't know if we will actually drop all the way down. I'm going to put this in orbital mode. My frame rate is dropping rather quickly. We are still in communication with Kerbin, even though we're almost on the other side of Eve now. So that's convenient. And we are starting to turn. I'm unable to keep control of the vessel, and we're turning a lot. Okay, if we can just point retrograde then, without losing anything, and this is actually fairly quiet to me, so there's a chance that this will explode and I will get very, very surprised. Oh, we lost the engines, we've lost a communications antenna. Funny thing is we still have like all of our ablative shielding. Did we lose our primary antenna? We did. But now we're like strangely stable. But that is a apparently 70 is too high. Or too low, I mean. So I am gonna have to load the quick save. I lost too much for this to be acceptable. And yeah, I think that's actually going to trap us. Yep, our Periapsis has dropped. We are actually currently on a collision course with Eve. So yeah, I need to load a quick save. I need to raise that Periapsis as soon as possible. And unfortunately, I think I quick saved when we were at like 100. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually fix this. We are at 100. Okay, so I need to point radially outwards now, as soon as possible. This is going to be expensive, but I have to do it. And now we're getting caught by the atmosphere. Ah, I only raised it 2 kilometers, but it might be enough. If I can just keep this retrograde, maybe we won't completely fall apart. I need to deactivate that, and one of the tadpoles is extended. I thought I told this to deactivate. Okay, there's a chance that we can still make this. But it is a very slim chance. Okay, so we are rocketing through the upper atmosphere of Eve at almost 5 kilometers per second, facing the opposite direction from our heat shield. And the last time I did this, we ended up colliding. However, we are fairly close to reaching Periapsis. We are 5 seconds away. Come on. Things are starting to heat up. Our engines are starting to overheat. Come on. Can we start going up? Yes, we have passed Periapsis. We've passed Periapsis and nothing is blown up yet, and I don't think I've lost anything. And there is a chance that this may actually be successful. Oh my god, we're going through Eve backwards, but it might actually work. Come on. Funny thing is, we still haven't actually been captured. Like, it's amazing what 2 kilometers can do. And I think the heating is cooling down. We may have actually made it. We may have actually done it. That 2 kilometers might have been all that was needed. And it looks like the flames are starting to subside. And our apoapsis is still not within. We're close. We're very, very close. Yes, we have been captured into Eve's orbit. Oh, come on. Don't slow down too much. Almost up to 80 kilometers now. We need to get to 90. Come on, 80. The flames there are still flames going on this radiator. Okay, there we are done with the flames. Up to 85 now. Oh my god, I think we actually did it. I think that was a successful Aerocapture around Eve. Yes, we are above 90. We are out of Eve's atmosphere. We are okay. Oh my god, I was very scared because I quick saved at a stupid, stupid place. Somehow that the 2 kilometer difference is all that it needed. So let's take this up to about 125. Okay. And we actually don't need to move. And that is in 9 hours, 45 minutes, and 25 seconds. Cool. Oh god, I am so happy right now. So I just need to re-extend the... This didn't get burned off. No. Okay. Need to re-extend this. I don't need to re-extend the tadpole until we actually start dropping them. Re-extend the radiators so that we don't overheat our reactor. And I'm going to keep the heat shield on. It doesn't really serve a practical purpose, but if we do end up returning to Kerbin, it would be very convenient to have. And it also provides some like radiation protection or something, I don't know. But yes, we have actually made it into orbit around Eve. We're not quite in a stable one yet. We still have a 70-kilometer periapsis. The mapper has started doing some mapping. We're going to be at too high of an orbit for it to really matter. Actually, I shouldn't put this in an equatorial, or in a, I shouldn't put this in an equatorial orbit if I want to do mapping. I should, when we're all the way out here, switch this into a polar orbit and do the mapping, and then maybe switch it back out of a polar orbit. Yeah, I'm going to set that up. I'm going to get it probably totally polar, drop the apoapsis down some, and then, not all the way. Can we see what the maximum... The altitude is ideal. I can know that. I don't know what the maximum on those is, because that would be good to know. So yeah, I'm going to set that up, and I will be back when I'm done with that. But yeah, we are starting our burn now in order to get into a polar orbit, which should be a 50-second burn or so. Apparently longer than I thought, but should be okay. We're all the way out at apoapsis. And we're just getting in a polar orbit so that I can do some mapping. And I apparently don't have SAS on at all. Should turn that on. That'd be silly not to have on. But yeah, it's just a polar orbit so that we can do mapping of the surface. Wow, that's really loud and in my ear all of a sudden. And with that map, we can decide where we want to send our two probes. We have a land probe and a water probe, or whatever is the liquid in Eve's oceans. And we don't really know where to send them because, well, it's all clouds. And that's probably good enough. I'm going to, at Periapsis, drop our orbit down. So that's 600. Yeah, getting this back into an equatorial orbit is going to be really, really awful. And that's going to take almost a kilometer per second. I mean, I could drop down and use Joule to do this, which might actually be a better idea. I'm a little skeptical of trying that, but what do we have left in the tank? We have 2.5 kilometers per second in the tank. I don't want to spend 1,000 of that just to drop down. And we can do the mapping from here. What is our orbital period? It is 19 hours, almost 20 hours, so about a day. Oh, I might just do the mapping from here for simplicity, and then get this into an equatorial orbit later, because we also don't really need a full-size map. Let's just do one orbit of this and see how it goes. When do we start? Oh, don't crash on me, game. Come on. Respond. Well, if this is a crash, then this is probably a good place to end the episode. This was likely just the first episode. We have to do mapping, we have to do satellite network, we've got a bunch of different things that we need to do around Eve still, so don't worry, there are still a couple more episodes of this series. But for now, I'm going to have to say I will see you all next time. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, all that jazz. I need to actually start saying that so that people start doing that. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time.